Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I'm thrilled to bring you two new party games that have a lot of connections in my mind to some of my favorite party games with just a little bit of a twist. So let me show you Sync and Rabble, both by the company Rabble. So let's take a look at it. This is Rabble right here, and I've got the cards laid out. I mean, again, really nice design. I'm really a big fan. And you will see that this box looks a lot like the kinds of boxes you get with monikers or with Time's Up. And that's really what Rabble is going to bring you, but again, with a twist. So I want to talk about that. You're going to divide into two teams. Now in this game, in Rabble, each team has their own deck of 20 cards that they will draw from the top of the deck. They will also be dealt 6 challenges cards. And so these challenges are going to be ways that you can thwart the other team whenever it's their turn to go. You have 45 seconds per round. You're going to alternate Team A and Team B. There's going to be one clue giver. That person is going to take the deck and they are going to flip over this card and get their teammates to guess that thing, whatever that thing is. Now, in the very first round, pretty much anything goes except for saying any part of that word or words. That means sounds, words, singing, acting, I mean, you name it. Just about anything, just not what's on here. Once the 45 minutes has gone, you will shuffle in any cards that you passed on, but keep the cards that you won or that players guessed correctly in a point pile. Then it's going to go to the next team, and they're going to do the same thing. You will alternate back and forth, keeping track of the team who started, because once a team finishes all 20 cards and their teammates have successfully guessed each one, the other team, if they have not gone yet in the round, will get to go and have equal turns, and then you're going to count up your points. And if that team doesn't catch up to the team that finished, you're just going to gain points up to 20 based on how many you successfully guessed. Then you're going to move into round 2. You're going to shuffle up your individual team's 20 cards again. Make sure that they are all mixed together, and you're going to do the same thing of giving clues for 45 seconds, alternating teams, and alternating those clue givers. But this time, there is one restriction. This time, it's only one word per card giving a clue, and there is no acting and no saying of the card, title, name, or any part of the word itself. So that clue always remains true throughout the entire game. But this time, you just have one word and no acting, no movement. Again, players are going to have these challenge cards, and they are going to play them when it says. So in this case, for example, it says teacher's pet, play on any round, show this card to your team after every card say a different math problem that your team has to answer. So these challenges get in the way of you focusing, get in the way of your team focusing, and also take up a little bit of time. So you will be playing these challenges on the other team. For example, this says round 2, you have to give clues by spelling them out. And when you have one word as your clue, you have to spell out your one-word clue, C-L-U-E. That's called Spelling Bee. Learn to speak Italian is this one right here. Play on round 1 or 2. Continuously keep your hands in motion. Che bello. So these are just really, really interesting. And I haven't seen a game like monikers or Time's Up do something like this where you have these challenge cards, and the challenge cards are played as it's specified rounds 1, 2, 3, or any round. So once you get to the third round of the game, which again is triggered by one player guessing, or one team guessing all the 20 cards in their deck, and then every turn having the equal turns, you're going to count up those points, add that to your score. You're going to move into round 3. Round 3 is acting only, no sounds, no words. And now you are going into your full performance. So there are some fantastic restrictions here. I love the feel of this. Again, let me show you some of these cards. These are going to be the 20 cards that I had for my deck. Here's one, vegan. I don't even call my boyfriend honey because those bees make them. M&M, let me keep these out here. Succulents, and they always have some kind of picture or some fun little text. That's not necessary. Surfing, Bitcoin, Oprah, virtual reality, Ben & Jerry's, dog walker, selfie, Disneyland, disco, Big Mac, Legally Blonde, Gucci, Truth or Dare, Aladdin, Sandcastle, Kombucha, and my last card was Goth. So these are the 20 cards that my team was dealing with, and we were trying to guess. That's Rabble, that's fun. This is my kind of game night, and I really like the twist of the challenge cards and the separation of the decks. Now, in those other two games, you have a collective deck that you are always paying attention to, you are always listening to, because even though a team might have a clue at one point in one round, you might actually get it that same round later on or in a different round. And so you have to pay attention to the clues the players are doing. And this has a little bit of, I would say, more of a straightforward, simplified, with the challenge, challenge in this game. So just really, really cool. Let's check out Sync. Sync is a game, it says here, a party game about merging minds, 20 minutes, 2 to 8 players. And as it says here, Rabble is a 30 to 45 minute game that is 4 to 20 players plus. In Sync, though, you can play this cooperative version, which I find really fascinating, and that was my first experience with the game, and it kind of reminded me a lot of Just One. And you are essentially giving a clue. Now in this game, you can give one word clue or you can give up to a 2-word clue. So it kind of puts a little twist on the just one. Now if you look at this deck of cards, what's going to happen is you're going to divide up into, let's say, 2 teams here. I've got these laid out. You're going to have 6 of these 1 clues, 4 of the 2 clues, and you're going to have these sync tokens. And one team is going to take a card, and there's going to be one guesser, and then everybody else is going to be clue givers. And you're going to look at the card and ask the person to randomly select 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Again, that person who's guessing on your team doesn't see the card that you see. So let's say they pick 2, and you got chocolate. So you are all now thinking, what could I give as a clue? This kind of reminds me too of 25 words or less, a really, really old school game where you have 5 words that you're trying to say. I can get the person to say all of these words in 25 words, and then you kind of bid down with the other teammate. They're like, no, 23, no, 19, no, 15, and then you have to say go at some point, and you only have a certain number of words to use. That's really what's going on here. So I'm going to say to my teammate, Hershey's. I'm going to just say Hershey's. I'm going to use one of my 1-point tokens. And if they think that they can get it, if they think they know what I'm doing and they don't need any more clues, they will make a guess. But they have to think that they're right, because once they guess once and they're wrong, then the other team gets to have essentially a steal. But if they're right because they said chocolate, then we get the card as a point, and we only used 1 word to get them to get the card. So the fewer clues you give, which you can continue as a team giving clues either of 1 word or 2 words, the better. So let's say my team got that. We're going to put that here. That's going to be our points. The other team is going to now take their card. They're going to have 1 guesser. You're going to alternate your guesser on your teams, and then they're going to do the same thing. There are these sync tokens, and these sync tokens are when you really think that your particular person is going to get your clue, and you give them 1 word. And if you're right, then you're going to get 2 cards, which is 2 points for your sync guess or your sync kind of bet that you were making. So maybe you think that you could get someone to say something. I'm wondering if I could get someone to say something for... maybe I could do, maybe if it's Mars, I'm thinking like rover. I mean, that's the first thing I think of when I hear the word rover. I think of the Mars rover. I think of that. But maybe somebody else isn't thinking of that. And that's kind of the joy or the wonderful moments you have in sync, is that you are trying to get in sync with each other. You are trying to get your team to guess this. And yeah, you better believe there's not going to be any stealing in the cooperative game, but if you have just a couple people and you want to play this with them, you're just all working together and you're all trying to get as many points as possible. And there is a scale in the back of the rule book that helps you determine how successful you are or how in sync with each other you are. And you guessed it, once a player is out of clues to give, they don't have any more 1 tokens or any more 2 tokens, that means that that team is done giving clues and the other team will wrap up, and then you will count up how many cards you have, and the team who has the most points, aka cards, is going to win sync. So while I think sync reminds me so much of Just One, I really like this feature of being able to give 1 or 2 words as a clue, and you can continue giving clues from your teammates, but only 1 person per round can give the clue. So 1 person isn't just out to kind of like hog the clue giving, because once they've given 1 clue and the person doesn't guess it, the other teammates have to really, step up to the bat. They have to really add or contribute in some way by using a 2-word clue or by using a 1-word clue. And then once everybody on the team is given a clue, that person has to guess, and they either get it right, or of course the other team can choose to steal. There's so much fun to be had with Sync and with Rabble. They are delightful, thoughtful party games that really get people talking and feeling good and having fun. So 2 thumbs up, 1 for Sync, 1 for Rabble for these party games from the company Rabble. Just loads of fun, right up my alley. All right, everybody, I'll see you later.